I used to own a company. My name was on the glass door, my wife's name was on the bank account, and my best friend's name was on the partnership papers. All three shattered in one day. I came home early, not because of suspicion, but because my meeting got canceled. Her car was in the driveway. His jacket was on the couch, and the sound from upstairs wasn't the kind you misinterpret. I didn't shout, didn't break anything. I just stood there, watching the empire I built collapse into something raw and disgusting. They both saw me. Neither looked ashamed. 2 weeks later, I was out of my own company. She filed for divorce, citing emotional neglect. He froze the business accounts. The lawyer I trusted was theirs too. By the time I realized it, the court had drained everything that had my name on it. I was left with an old Corolla, a box of files, and a lifetime of silence I couldn't afford. I started driving Uber. At first, I thought I'd hate it, but driving had one mercy. It gave me time to think, and thinking was all I had left. That's when I picked him up, the old man. He was frail, maybe late 70s. Sharp eyes, though, the kind that notice more than they ask. He sat in the back seat quietly for the first 10 minutes before speaking. "You drive like someone who's lost everything," he said. I almost laughed. "That obvious?" He smiled faintly. "No, familiar." We talked, not much, just fragments. He told me he'd built a business once, lost his son to greed and his wife to cancer. He was dying now. Terminal, he said, as if it were a casual detail. When we reached his destination, a hospice on the edge of the city, he leaned forward, handed me an envelope, and said, "You remind me of someone I lost, someone honest." He got out slowly, every step trembling with pain. Inside the envelope, $30,000. I thought it was a mistake, until the next morning when I got a call. "This is Mr. Lawson's lawyer," the voice said. "He passed away last night." I froze. Before he died, he changed his will. "You've been named as a beneficiary." I laughed, half disbelief, half shock. "There must be a mistake." "No mistake," the lawyer replied. "You've inherited $89 million. The phone nearly slipped from my hand. I was shaking. But then he said something that made me sit down. "He left a note for you. Would you like to hear it?" I swallowed hard. Yes. The lawyer read it slowly, each word slicing through me. "To the man who reminded me of my son. I've watched you. I know your pain, because I lived it. The woman and partner who betrayed you, I once trusted them too. You don't know it yet, but your story is tied to mine. The man who stole your company, he is my son." The line went silent. I sat there for a long time, feeling the kind of chill that starts in the bones. It wasn't random. The old man, Richard Lawson, had known. And then it hit me. The will wasn't just a gift. It was justice, handed from one betrayed soul to another. The next weeks moved like a dream. Lawyers, signatures, wire transfers. Overnight, I went from broke to untouchable. But I didn't buy a car, didn't move houses, not yet. I had plans. My ex-wife and her lover, my former partner Ethan, had merged the company under a new name. Bigger, flashier, funded by my ideas, my clients, my legacy. So I waited. Patience is a weapon. Through a series of quiet acquisitions, shell companies, and one very loyal accountant, I began buying their investor shares, quietly, legally. They never noticed. By the time they realized, I owned 52% of their company. The day I walked into the boardroom, I saw the same faces that had once watched me lose everything. My ex-wife's lips parted. Ethan went pale. "Surprised?" I said, my voice steady. "You should be. Richard Lawson sends his regards." They froze. The name hit like a blade. "I believe you knew him," I continued. "He thought highly of me." Their lawyer, the same one who ruined me, started to speak, but I cut him off. This company, I said, sliding the documents across the table, is now mine. Effective immediately. You're both terminated. And before you ask, yes, legally. I didn't shout. I didn't need to. Power doesn't yell. It signs papers. As security escorted them out, she turned back once, eyes wide, trembling, and whispered, "You planned this?" I smiled. "Since the day you stopped loving me." That night, I sat alone in my car, the same Corolla. I drove back to the hospice. Richard's room was empty now. Just a photo of him and a young man, Ethan, on the bedside table. I left my old wedding ring there. Not as tribute, as closure. $89 million didn't save me, but it gave me time to think, to plan, to rebuild what they tried to bury. People call it luck. I call it divine symmetry. Richard got his justice through me. I got mine through him. And somewhere in the quiet between what we both lost, I think we found peace.